wrong with this nation and all
A
others.
little louder.
A few months ago, a fellow named Aaron Barr, CEO of the federal contracting company HP Gary, went to the Financial Times and claimed he had discovered the leadership of Anonymous. Most of this was incorrect information, and we let him know that through a sarcastic press release proclaiming defeat. The next day, we launched an investigation at HP Gary, by which we went into their servers, acquired all their emails, acquired all their files, released them onto the internet so that everyone could see them for themselves. We hacked into his personal email account, we hacked into his iPad, wiped his iPad, and thereafter continued to hassle him as we continued to learn more about what he was planning to do with government money against us and against other parties. During the time that he was investigating us, we were involved in Operation Tunisia, Operation Libya, Operation Algeria, and Operation Egypt, whereby we provided software, expertise, guides to medical care and street fighting, and other sort of methodology to those rising up against the tyrannical governments in North Africa. We worked on this with other North Africans who helped to translate, helped to provide local color to our guides. At the same time, we took down websites belonging to the government. We replaced some with messages to the people of those governments, pointing out that if they did rise up, we would assist them. So as we were spending our time doing what Americans should do in reference to foreign policy, he was spending his time spying on us, lying to us, and doing so on the dime of the taxpayers of America. As we proceeded with the investigation, partnering with various journalists and other entities, we discovered the extent of the crimes that are being perpetrated by these companies. It's not just HP Gary, but also Palantir, which receives money from In-Q-Tel, a CIA venture capital company. It also involved a company called Intrepid, another called Cubic. And in the end, we found out there were 24 companies involved in what we call Metal Gear software. We call it Metal Gear to give it a name because there is no specific name for it. This software involves persona management. It involves what's called attribution, which is a method by which to identify the real identities of anyone who wants to be anonymous on the internet. It also entails data collecting and data modeling, by which governments and other entities can manipulate populations on a large scale. Over the past few months, we've sort of stepped up our investigation, and we have targeted several companies and institutions. At first, 2 weeks ago, we thought Booz Allen Hamilton was the culprit in all of this. As such, we made some calls to all their vice presidents to let them know that we're not happy with what they're doing, and that if they pursue it, they'll be hassled for the rest of their lives. We soon came to realize through some informants and through some other parties that gave us some assistance that this sort of methodology, this persona management, this anti-anonymity software is widespread. It's been going on for about 10 years now. It goes up to DARPA, it goes up to Echelon, which is the signals intelligence apparatus of the US and UK Joint Command. It's used and developed by private companies, semi-private companies, which are then allowed to keep what they develop and then use it against private parties. For example, the US Chamber of Commerce and Bank of America had hired HP Gary and Palantir and other companies to help them investigate their opponents, in some cases release false data to them so they could then be released and then discredited from Bank of America and Chamber of Commerce, and also to look into the families and children of labor organizers and other people who opposed actively to those companies. A congressional committee has now been formed to investigate these companies. One of the Republicans on it a few weeks ago noted that it's not really Congress's job to look into this, it's the Justice Department's job. The problem with that is